Him and his lady friend that was also at the table joined you a little while later, where you laid a trap. With them being extremely intoxicated and only looking for some fun times, you essentially bound them and questioned them, learning their names, Sergei, the male human, and Ilvana, the female elf. Uh, After some poking and prodding and some druid, well, for the lack of a better term, cockflinging in the face, you were able to get them to talk and found out the known whereabouts of Elroy, the leader of the Bleeding Forge, as he was doing business in the town of Sangorn, which was about a day's travel or so from Aureus. You, the next day, got your things together and set out without too much trouble. Made your way to Sangorn and eventually located the place where he was doing business. Um, Through some more interesting roles and interactions, made your way essentially to the inner sanctum of the hideout of the Bleeding Forge in Sangorn, only to find Elroy conducting a meeting with some other individuals in long white robes with a red marking across the front. Um, After some more pretty decent rolls and a dick on my screen, right there, you can fun. Uh, we're able to get an audience with him for 5 minutes. At which time, through some more fun rolls, you were able to get him to allow you, Nex, who took on the form of Ilvana, as your Geis, to garner this meeting, to allow you to make them your charge, to basically any orders that he were to pass down to you, you would have them do, and he basically brought them into the fold as would be Bleeding Forge members at this point. Um, at the end of your meeting, um, in true Merrick like fashion, not seeing this meeting going the way that he had it planned in his mind that the team was going to take it, let loose a bolt, striking Elroy and essentially getting him shadow stepped or flipped, as it were, at that time, with two daggers immediately being lodged underneath his collar blades, pinning him to the table. Uh, Happening so fast and so furious that he was not able to react to it. And he tried to push him off and re-grapple him, but was not able to do so. Through a natural 20, I do believe, from Nex, you saved Merrick's life, essentially, and your party's life, and convinced him to, again, allow them to be your charge. And he would come calling for you and them shortly in the city of Aureus. So you were led back out. Dobrum and Merrick had a small interaction within the um, hallway leading back up to the upper portions of where you guys were, and you were basically led up and out. And we ended with you guys attempting to become outfitted in these quote unquote armory or general supplies area of this place here in Sangorn. So, with that, your crew is together. You are still at the tavern there in Sangorn, where Elroy is having his meeting downstairs. I love you too. And we will kick it off there. I will ask you to erase the things off of the map, please. And whoever wants to kick off the evening, by all means, you are there to have it.
I can't see things. It's all black.
Shouldn't be all black.
Yeah, it's
Ori
just
is
the
Lori, but when I look at Twitch, I can see I Love You Senpai and a penis.
You can see it because you can't see my. You can't see it over the GM overlay.
Yeah.
So
So someone is really clever at drawing blindly.
Yeah, I can't erase it because I can't see it.
hold on.
I'm just blindly clicking and hitting delete. There we go.
There. There you are.
Beautiful.
I'm not sure what my cat is doing, but it sounds like he's rifling through my bags somewhere. All right, friends. It's your show.
What are we going to do?
Go on with
Well,
the
we're
cloth.
bad guys now.
Effectively, yeah.
Literally.
Do keep in mind that you are impersonating a very high-ranking member of the Bleeding Forge. Just,
Well,
you may want to write that one down.
we're not. He is.
Yeah. So
Well-
what happened with that? Did we kill that person, or where was the actual one?
No.
No.
No. You left them all
No.
go in the room, and then remember when you were leaving, the alarms and the bells started going off, and you just exited their district before they shut it down.
I don't
So
remember that actually.
that's absolutely
times.
what happened.
But we did get a great impersonation of a windmill going.
You did do that. You most definitely did that.
So
Absolutely.
we just impersonated them. We're free to go. We can just go do whatever the fuck we want.
It is true.
We're not
I mean-
responsible for that.
They don't know what I look like.
Yeah,
Just
really, Nick's just impersonated that one person. So, I mean, we're good. I mean, Nex might be in trouble, but
I mean, I
Nex
was a
also doesn't
stripper.
have to look.
They're looking for one cat girl in a sea of many.
In reality, we could go do whatever we want, and when we fuck up, Elroy would just go kill her.
Right, exactly.
Or alternatively, and this I'm just throwing this out into the party, we could be the bad guys. But if we do that, we have to go kill her. The real her.
I mean, if we're gonna take over her identity, we gotta kill her.
It's imperative. It's almost required. Maybe even legal.
Hmm.
The choices are so endless.
You're making me feel bad about not murdering people.
I mean, come on. It kind of happens, doesn't it?
Honestly, Merrick isn't a thinker, so give me an idea and I'll roll with it.
God, all of these dice suck
First
tonight.
thing-
God
The
damn.
first thing that we need to do is get out of here.
As you guys come up into the tavern itself, you see several members of the Bleeding Forge who are sitting at various tables. When they're in here, it doesn't seem like they're trying to hide, really, because, well, really, nobody really else comes in here very often. And as you come up, you come through that back door again, everybody just kind of stops and turns and looks at you. And they kind of eye you from head to toe, and then they quietly go back to their drinks and, the music playing and whatnot. But it does look like most everyone has seen your arrival back to the main floor. Other than that, it's just a normal looking tavern. There's people eating and drinking and being merry. They just happen to be all crooks.
Well,
Hello, fellow.
Hello, Phil.
There do wells.
Fine day
Still the
for
best.
Fine day for. That's still one of my favorite fucking parts. Oh my god.
I think it was the best part.
It has to be. I gotta go back and clip that. I totally forgot to do it.
I thought you did. Anyway,
Oh, maybe I did. Anyways,
I think my plan is to go back out to the alley I first changed in and change back to my original armor and form.
okay.
So
All right. So
I'll be
you-
outside.
Okay.
Now let's go outside and talk about what we're gonna do next, so we're not in the hive of the enemy, so to speak.
Do you guys exit and go out the front? Do you look for a side entrance? What's your ploy here?
I'm walking out the front like a boss.
So you guys exit out the front. You step out into the street. You look to your right. The road through the center of town continues, and then you see it disappear off into the westerly, southwesterly distance as it kind of goes out of town. Again, this town or city is more like a slightly larger Lurie, so there's only a few even two-story structures, one of them being the one that you're at. And then there's other various little huts and hovels and buildings. It looks like a general store across the street or general goods type place. You see like pots and pans kind of hanging in the windows and like dried like garlic and things hanging in knots and stuff like that. But other than that, back to your left is a couple of buildings and then the end of the street going back towards Aureus where you guys came from. And if you look, there's, little side alleys that go between all the buildings, so it's easy enough to find an alley to duck into.
I will do that.
It's not all that hard. So you make your way over to the alley and change back into your changeling self, correct? Changeling self, changeling armor. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're Poof, no longer Ilvana, and you are now Nex.
Ivana was sexier.
I'll remember you said that.
Next, we'll remember this.
Everyone disliked this.
Oh, that's great. As you stand in the alleyway having brief little discussions, you notice that it's going on towards, because you guys came into town kind of late evening. You had your meeting, and then it's going on towards late evening, probably like 10:30, something like that. Very low lit, like kind of posts with like oil lanterns on them. There's only a few, like one, but then they're like in like one on this side of the street, and then another block down there's one on this side of the street, and it kind of alters as it goes out of town. So it's pretty quiet. You see a few people strolling past here and there. Mostly getting on towards 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's less of the working class people and more of the, town drunkards and people stumbling from one establishment to the next establishment to find their way for the evening.
So, do we just wear these tabards all the time, or is it like a clubhouse thing where we only put them on when we're in the club?
You did not ask that.
I should probably ask that.
Did we see anybody in either Aureus or Sangorn wearing those inside the buildings?
Go ahead and roll. What would that? Would that be intelligence to try to remember, or would that be? Yeah. Roll intelligence. Roll intelligence to see if you can remember.
15?
9.
9. You don't specifically remember seeing anybody, but then again, you're not really one to pay specific attention to what people are wearing. It's not really kind of your thing. So you're not totally sure whether you did or whether you didn't.
Can I poke my head back in the bar?
I mean, you can go back in the bar if you want to.
Are they wearing tabards?
As I said, there are some wearing tabards and there are some not. But the ones who are wearing them
Hey,
are not trying
So,
to
like,
hide it.
what's the rule on tabards? Is it just in the clubhouse, or can we like wear it in the streets and? You know, like my head's literally just kind of like through the door back into the tabard.
He's rolling the head.
I'm new. I'm new to this.
Again, the music stops.
It's
And
a theme here.
And everybody just kind of turns towards the door with this like puzzled look on their face, and they're kind of like. You see this one really old, grizzled dwarf kind of sitting up at the bar. He's got like a big tankard in his hand, and you see like, just at quick glance, you see like ale just kind of dripping through his beard, and he kind of just turns to you and he goes, "Aye, you do whatever the fuck you want, eh?" And goes back to drinking, and everybody just.
Is that like a rule of thumb, just to do whatever you want, or is there like a guidebook that I could have?
And he takes a big long drink, gulp, 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 gulp. And he turns and he looks at you and again he goes, "You do what you want, mate. I don't wear mine in public."
So, employee.
All right. Just if it's cool with everyone, I'm gonna work on a guidebook for the newcomers because I think that'd be really helpful. Bye.
As you say
Just
that,
slide back out.
as you start to close the door, you see a Stein come through the air and smash against the wall right next to the door.
You missed.
So guys, are we gonna become criminals? Is that what we're doing?
I just like having all my bases covered.
I mean, we don't have to do crime, right?
I mean,
Just
well,
hold on to this.
apparently we can do whatever we want.
Well,
There are repercussions.
according to that one old dwarf who's a criminal.
Oh, so all criminals are bad, huh?
We are all criminals
Yes.
now because you decided to run into the bar, and I had to do what I could to stop you.
Fair.
It is kind of fair. Not gonna lie.
We always could just go somewhere else. We don't have a task that we've been commanded to accomplish or anything, have we?
Not that I know of.
Not,
Unless anyone has any ideas.
not specifically. You're not tied to really at this point. You haven't tied yourself to anything, really.
Well, maybe
Except
we
killing
just-
horse rapists. That seems to be
that
our-
was all me.
That's the crusade.
That's his side quest.
It's the only holy war.
Dun, 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 dun,
Horsey
dun, dun,
war.
dun. Oh boy.
I'm just out to vanquish Naderwell.
Oh my word. Oh my word. Alright, so it's going on towards midnight now. Again, not really much going on this time of night.
Perhaps we should find an inn that isn't swarming with bandits.
It's up to you. What would you like to do? Would you like to find the inn?
I vote yeah.
Alright. So either roll two separate investigation or perceptions to find an inn, or one with it.
Can I just ask a passerby?
You could try to stop somebody. There's not really anybody but drunk people walking around.
Grapple.
They might be helpful.
I will stop a drunkard.
Okay.
I will stop the least drunk drunkard I can find.
Well, the only drunkard that stumbles by your particular alleyway right at the moment is this extremely emaciated looking halfling. Like, we're talking the thinnest of the thin halflings you've ever seen. Just mangy, scrumbled up hair, a white linen shirt, which used to be a white linen shirt, but it's got like stains and tatters and kind of like little slits and rips in it, and he's wearing these like brown pants, but they're more like capris than pants because he's either washed them one too many times and they shrank, or God knows what happened. But he's filthy. He's got like little bits of food like hanging off the corner of his mouth, and he's just kind of doing the drunk walk, the 3 steps this way, 2 steps this way, a couple of steps this way. You walk out into the middle of the street, you try to stop it, and he kind of stumbles to the side. Like, yeah, what do you want?
Pardon me, good sir. I'm just looking for the nearest inn.
You want to
But
go
not
to
the one,
you want to
not the
drink
one
a
that's
gin?
literally behind.
You want some gin?
I mean, sure, but I'm looking for a place I can sleep, preferably with a roof.
No, you don't sleep with gin. You sleep in an inn.
Then I'll take that.
Well, you're standing in front of one.
A different inn. For some reason, these guys don't want to stay at this inn. It's too good for them.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I know anything or not. And you see him kind of point to his hand.
I give him a high five.
Cut it off.
And you smack his hand, and he's so drunk that he kind of like stumbles down to his knee and stands back up and looks at you with this like confused, like, "Ay, you're wasting my time. Have a good evening." And he
Is emaciated halfling just a way to sneak in another gnome?
If you're heading home, the stables is the other way.
he's just kind of stumbling down the street, not paying a bit of attention to you anymore. That was not nice, Troy. So what if I have a gnome fetish, alright?
We're not here to judge. This is clearly not the kink shaming campaign.
Absolutely not. So, you bust.
He was
Halfling.
the most useful hobbit I've ever met.
I'm gonna go sleep in our wagon.
Well,
Fair enough.
Or we could stay in the perfectly good inn behind us.
Certainly could.
I mean, if you would like to stay in the inn with all your friends, go right ahead. I'm sure
gonna
I'm sure
suggest.
I'm sure they want to hear all about your new book.
perhaps.
You know what? I want to spend my night at this inn. Because I want to get drunk with my newfound criminal buddies and learn all about
I'm going to say maybe our hijinks and Aureus might be broadcast to the HQ here in Sangorn. And if we're sleeping inside of their building, maybe they'll murder us.
I mean, I did tell him.
That's true.
Like, the boss is aware.
What
That's
could
true.
what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I still build Caravan.
Alright.
It's up to you guys.
Well,
The inn is fine.
you open the door and go back inside, and no one seems to pay really a whole lot of attention to you at this point. You just kind of walk in and stand there, kind of awkwardly, like those people who show up to a party who weren't invited, and no one's talking to you.
I would like to order a beer.
You walk up to the bar, I assume, and you sit down, and the wait staff does not come by.
Mirek will wait outside.
I will slide a few copper on the table.
The closest barmaid to you, who's kind of wiping off part of the bar and rearranging some glasses, she kind of looks your way just with a real brief glance, sees the copper on the table, and she turns her head and goes back to cleaning.
Can I see how much others are paying for beer?
Roll a perception check, sweetie.
That would be a nat 1.
It's pretty low light in here. It's really late, and not a whole lot of money exchange going on right at the moment, and none close enough for you to really see.
I will slowly slide 5 copper onto the bar. I'm sorry, 5 silver. is what I meant.
5 silver under the bar. Okay. She looks again. This time she sets her bar rag down, and she kind of looks back over her shoulder the other way, and she comes down to the end of the bar and slides her hand across and palms the silver, and she leans in real close and she says, "I think I just ought to tell you that you're not welcome here. You should probably go and find somewhere else to stay."
Where else is a good place to stay? I thought these were my brothers now.
Well, let's just say your rant about your book got you labeled into the Pussy Club, okay?
It sounds like a pretty good club to be in.
Well, around here it's not such a great place, such a great thing to be. So, I would recommend you go down the street and you go to the Silver Nest, okay? She takes the
Okay.
coins and she kind of tucks it into her some sort of pocket or something underneath her cloak or underneath her vest, and goes back to cleaning.
Can I at least have a beer to go?
She doesn't turn around.
God damn it! I storm out.
You make your way back out to whoever was outside.
As I come out, I say, whoever would have thought a bunch of criminals would be fucking assholes?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, I wonder.
Who would have thought, right? Dobrim just kind of looks up at you and he's like, I don't really get it. We were in there, now we're out here, and we tried to go back inside. What is it with everybody? Why can't they be nice? I just don't understand. Anyways, for the sake of brevity, the Silver Nest Inn is about 3 or 4 blocks down on your left-hand side. She did give you that much in the last breath as you were talking at the bar.
Onward to adventure.
To infinity and beyond.
Silver Nest.
Alright, so you make your way down the street. You come to the last 2-story structure before you leave Sangorn. On your left-hand side, it is a wooden structure. Fairly inviting looking. It's got a nice warm candlelit glow coming out from the windows, and you see a couple people coming out who don't look to be too worse for wear. I mean, they look like just normal, common farming type folk, having had a few drinks, but nothing like the emaciated halfling that you saw stumbling down the street.
I'm gonna approach one of the random, presumably gnome farmers, and ask them if there's any news, any going-ons nearby, anything strange happening.
Okay. They kind of stop and look at you. They see this, skinny young girl carrying this big ass warhammer across her back, and they they kind of stop for just a second. They kind of admire you, and then they kind of think to themselves and kind of look back and forth. They're like, don't really know that there's anything strange going on around here lately. Been hearing some interesting things about some weird goings on in Aureus, but other than that, there's not really a ton going on around here. I'm getting ready to come into the farming season, so we'll be seeing some interesting folks coming into town looking for work and farm work and those kinds of things here before too long. But it's still kind of a quiet time of year. I mean, that'll change here before too long. You'd probably find some news here before before long, but as of right now, not really much going on.
What's that strange thing you said going on in Orius?
Oh, just, you know, somebody made mention that there was a murder at one of the at the stables there, right inside the wall. I was the damnedest thing. One of the little gnomes that had worked there for forever. They just found him poof dead, gone.
Yeah, weird, right?
I
It's so strange. I don't know anything about that.
right. Who the hell would kill a gnome working in a stable? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Crazy.
I'm sure he had a very good reason.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's quite possible. I don't know.
I heard from someone that he was doing bad things to the horse,
Well, that would just
and maybe, just maybe, he deserved.
roll a deception check.
I'm not lying. Yeah, that's a 4.
He kind of looks at you with this shit-eating grin on his face and is like, "Yeah, I bet that's what it was. You know, hey, it is what it is. Hey, you guys have a good evening. We're gonna go on about our way. We got to get to work early in the morning, and we're gonna go get some sleep. We've had our food, we've had our drink.
Mhm.
You all have a wonderful evening." And they take off past you.
Okay, bye. All right.
They totally bought it.
Totally,
safe.
totally bought it.
Oh, we don't even actually know about that, do we?
No,
Weren't you on your own?
Yeah.
You murdered that man with
he totally was when he moonbeamed him. Yeah.
Didn't murder him.
You exonerated him, or
Sentenced
not
him to
exonerated, but you, yeah, judge, jury, and executioner.
I liberated him of life.
Dude, you fucking splatted that poor guy. Anyways, so do you go inside, or what are you doing?
Do I see which way those guys are going?
Just down the street, kind of back towards where you came from?
Can I ask a passerby where the nearest guard station is?
You'd have to wait a minute or two and catch the next somewhat not totally drunk citizen coming by. But sure.
I will do that as they head in.
Alright, you stop the next person that comes by. It is a shorter human, again dressed in kind of like farmer type attire, a little bit inebriated from a night out on the town. What'd you say? What are you looking for, friend?
Can you please point me to the nearest guard station? I seem to have misplaced my purse.
He kind of, you say person, he kind of like gives you a little funny look and kind of thinks
Like Coin purse?
kind of thinks to himself for a second, and he's like, "Well, hey, the only guard station here in Sangorn will be the one coming in from Aureus down that way, probably about I don't know, 5-10 minutes walk, something like that, down that way."
Is that the way the other two headed?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go sleep in the wagon.
Okay. You're
I'll let them know, but I'm gonna go sleep in the wagon.
okay.
I'm also not sleeping anywhere near a place that was referred to us by that person. So I would like to find higher ground.
Okay. So was everybody together, or did you sneak away, or like?
I mean, I'm just walking away when we get to the inn.
Okay, so you don't say anything and you just turn and walk away.
I'm upset after our last interaction.
Okay. Do you attempt to be stealthy, or do you just walk away?
No, I'm just walking away. I just want to find higher ground, even if it means I have to leave the city.
I understand.
Sachets away.
Yeah, as he just, you guys watch as Merrick just turns and walks away.
I'll, after a pause, follow at a distance, not sneaky, just follow.
Okay. Fair enough. And Sabros announced that he was going to go sleep in the wagon. Takes off to go do so. Joria is following Merrick, and that leaves Nex and Dobrum standing at the steps of the inn.
Oh, I left before the tavern, or after the tavern.
You left after the. So where did you go?
Yeah,
No, you're.
back to the cart.
You're what?
I went back to the cart before the halfling thing.
Oh, okay. So you weren't even there.
Oh,
I got you. Okay. So it's just Dobrum standing there. He watches Sabros go one way. He watches Merrick and Joria walking another way. And he's just kind
We're a
of
great party.
standing there, and he almost like a long lost puppy. He's like, I screw it. He walks across the street, and there's like a little bench between two buildings, kind of like, turned and kind of put up against the side of the building. He pulls out his lute. And he just starts sitting there, just playing a little song, and just kind of relaxing. He's just gonna hang out. Don't really know what he's gonna do, but that's what he's doing for now. All right, so Merrick, you're looking for higher ground.
I mean, this can be a tree outside the city wall, or a guard tower,
There's
a higher
so this
building.
town doesn't really have city walls per se. There's just the road in and the road out. There's various scraggly trees here and there. There's nothing like Arden Forest type stuff. There's the errant building here and there that appears to be abandoned. There's different stores and shop fronts, but the only two inns that you know of are the one that you were at, and then the one that you were directed to.
In that case, I will leave town, and if I cannot find higher ground, I will dig a hole.
Okay. You are literally in the middle of a plains, so there are no high grounds anywhere.
Dig a hole it is.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a strength check to dig a hole.
Oh, yes.
You dig the fuck out of that hole.
Joria can stay in my hole.
At what point do I have this?
Okay, so
I mean, if you're following me, might as well invite.
Well, I got a distance.
let's just
trying
say you break line of sight
do
for a
reconnaissance.
couple of minutes,
It's a cozy fox den.
and you find Merrick about knee deep in a hole that's just bigger than Merrick's size.
Like, hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Well, I can't find much other place to stay, and I'm sure as hell not going to stay where I was recommended to stay by the people who pinned me to a table. So here I am in the dirt, and that is fine.
I think it was well. Are you sure? I mean, it's a different inn. I don't think they run the whole city. Wouldn't you rather sleep inside? Where it's safe?
Nope, I feel much safer out here, actually.
Oh, okay. You want me to stick around with you? I don't actually sleep.
I mean, you can do what you will. I don't really mind what you do, Sheila. I mean,
Well, you're not leaving, are you?
no, I'm just staying here tonight because I don't want to be in there, and I don't trust anything that's going on in that city. I am ready to leave.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll stay out here and hang out with you until morning, just in case. 'Cause I don't know. I'm kind of worried myself that someone might come after us. Someone that doesn't like us or is angry about what we did in Orius.
And if they do, I know we can run that way instead of being surrounded in this thing.
Yeah, that's an option. Pretty fast.
Not that I like running, say, but this better than being surrounded. That sounds like the best way to stay alive, and I would like to stay alive.
Okay, well, I'll sit on the edge of the hole and keep watch, I guess, and at some point I'll transfer 4 hours.
Alright, Merrick, so you dig your hole in whatever fashion you wish. Up
That's
to,
beautiful.
I'll give you up to 6 foot deep if you want to. It's up to you.
Becomes more of a grave at that point.
That's why I said up to 6 feet, but he's Merrick Cathen, so who the fuck knows how deep he'll actually dig the hole.
That's true.
I mean,
8 feet.
8 feet. Alright. Fuck it. You dig yourself an 8-foot hole. And you hop down into the bottom of it. Curl up with your flesh shield. And go to sleep. While Joria is sitting with her feet dangling over the edges, just kind of, doing the little feet kicksies and just kind of watching around, and little pieces of dirt just kind of tick, 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 off into the hole tick, 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 every once in a
I
while.
will wake up as soon as I can, past what I need to be fully rested.
Okay, I believe for you that's 8 hours. Is that correct?
I don't know. I think it's 6 without being exhausted.
We'll call it 6 for tonight. We'll look that up later. Alright, so let us flash over to Nex, who is currently laying in the back, I would presume laying in the back of the wagon, as Sabros, you happen upon the wagon. Or, let me back up, Sabros, are you actually going to the wagon?
Yes.
Okay, so you get to the wagon, and Nex is currently laying there, either awake or asleep.
I'd prefer to be asleep.
Okay.
I was gonna say, which is it?
Currently curled up with her items in her pack,
Hey, next.
fast asleep.
What do you want?
Are you asleep?
I was.
Oh, okay. I'm sleeping here too, I guess.
Alright, well, try anything funny, and I will take that gnarled penis off of you.
Define funny?
Don't touch me.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Nice eye. That's good times.
Define
Gnarl. Define.
You know, like when they cut down a tree and like the tree grows back and there's like a burrow?
Wait, penises do that?
You're a
Druid
druid.
penises.
Can I get a lore check as to whether or not druid penises grow back?
It's true, I've seen it.
You just gave me an idea for down the road.
Oh no.
That scares me really badly.
A troll with 8 dicks. Octodick.
Next on the news at 11, Octodick. Cha-cha-cha. Anyways. Alright, so
Hydroform druid.
Alright, so we have Dobrum, who's playing his lute on a bench. We have Joria watching Merrick sleep in a ditch. And we have Sabros and Nex sleeping, or going towards sleep in the back of the wagon. It is about probably 1 or 1:30 in the morning by this point. It starts to get a little bit cold out as you're moving towards spring, but you're still kind of in that spring-winter kind of like transitional period. So the night does start to get a little cold for you guys, being outside. I would like Joria to make a perception check, please. Wow.
Nailed it.
That's a 38.
Sure is. You don't
That's
notice.
just asking something.
You don't notice anything. You're just sitting there quietly watching Merrick breathe slowly as he drifts off to sleep, and whatever meditative state you wish to put yourself in shortly after that. That's a 7 in dog rolls. Oh, Sabros, you kill me. Alright. So neither of the other two are doing any kind of watch. So, in the middle of the night, um, what is your guys' passive perception?
13.
13.
So, Ross, what's your passive?
16.
You don't notice anything. The night goes without any problems, and the next morning you guys awaken. Merrick, you find yourself in your hole, a little bit of frost covering your whichever side was facing up towards the upper part of the hole, and Jory is just beaming with her normal morning energy, sitting at the edge of your hole,
Covered in ice.
covered in ice, essentially. And
From
Sabros
his
and
point of view, I'm sitting in the exact same spot, looking at him.
looking at him.
As soon as he moves, I'm like, "Good morning."
Good morning, fellow hole dweller.
Um,
I would like to try to
You,
inconspicuously check and make sure my penis is still attached.
did you sleep?
Roll animal handling.
That'd be a 23.
It's still there.
Okay.
Nat 20 penis check.
Hashtag penis check.
Mhm.
I am proficient.
You are proficient in touching your penis. All right, that's good to know. It's good to know. Anyways, so Merrick Jory is sitting there in the same exact place, staring at you as you come to consciousness.
I don't know why that rolled something, but okay.
Are you okay there, Sheila?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? That's why I'm here.
I'm fine. Did you get any sleep? Get a wink.
Well, I don't really sleep, but yeah, I'm good.
Oh, well, good then. Where's everybody else?
Probably still back in town. I hope. If not, it's just the two of us now.
Oh, well, that's fine. What do you want to do today?
Are you want to go see if everybody else got assassinated?
Well, I suppose that would make for a pretty good story.
All right, let's go.
Coming to look for your bodies.
Alright, so you guys make your way back into town. Next in Saros, you wake up the next morning covered in frost in the back of your wagon.
Burr. So, next, should we, try to find them or something?
It's too cold. I don't want to get up. I'm just gonna roll over and curl into the fetal position. Go find them yourself.
Okay. And I leave.
Fair enough. Any particular direction or
I
just...
will begin to aimlessly wander the streets looking for them.
Alright, good enough.
That's kind of-
About 20 minutes goes by and you run into each other in the middle of the street in the middle of town. Easy enough.
Oh, hi!
The four of us?
No.
Oh, okay.
You, Joria,
Next is still
Sabros,
sleeping.
and Merrick.
I guess Dobrum's dead, huh? Did he wander off? Did he go with you guys?
Player bag of holding. I don't know where he. um. So it's Joria, Sabros, and I.
Correct.
I'm gonna go into that silver nest and see if
Okay.
he's in there, or ask whoever's in the front.
So you walk up and you walk inside. It's a fairly... It's not huge. It's not a huge space. There's probably only about 5 or 6 tables in here, and they're all kind of fairly closely jumbled together. You would estimated at probably maybe about 20 or 25 feet by 20 or 25 feet roughly space, with 6 tables and 4 to 5 chairs at each table. It's a pretty packed space. There's a small bar at the front left, a small hearth to the back right, and basically just a corner with a stool in it for when bards or whoever entertains for the evening come by. You see only one person behind the bar, and you walk up to the bar, and you see a male dragonborn standing behind the bar. And he kind of looks down at you and kind of gives a little bit of a scoff as you come in.
Scoff.
Well, what can I do for you this morning?
Did you have a dwarf come in here and stay last night?
He kind of
Goes
chuckles.
by the name Dobrum.
He kind of chuckles to himself before you say the name Dober. He's like, we have a lot of dwarves coming here. You gotta be a little more specific. And when you say the name Dobrum, he kind of looks at you and he goes, no, I can't say that I've seen anybody or heard any of that name in before here. I usually know everybody that comes in here because they gotta pay me to stay.
Okay, thanks. I'll turn around, go back to wherever the group is, or face him and say, oh, guess he's dead. Dobrum's gone. He's not here.
Lovely. I like that little fella.
So, we gotta go look for him? I don't know. Where's Nex?
Yes, Sabros, where's next?
I don't know. All my ideas end in failure, and
That sounds more like Sabros.
Joria, can you make a perception check for me, please?
Still sad about the tabaxi thing.
never forget.
He's so
Never
sad.
forgive.
14.
Alright. As you guys turn to go back, I'm assuming you're going to go find Nex. Was that your plan?
I don't know where the Dobrum or Nex are.
Well, as you turn and you're talking about what you're going to do, you catch a glimpse of something wooden kind of laying on its side out across the street by the bench.
Something wooden?
Kind of like a rounded piece of wood.
Yeah, gotcha. I'll go over to it and poke it.
Okay. It's easy enough. You walk up to it and it is a broken lute.
Cool.
Oh no.
Cool. So definitely dead, guys. See, this is why I followed Merrick. By ourselves, now he's gone. His loot's broken. Thus dead. So do we need to go back to the thieves' den?
You just have to find a new dwarf.
Just get a replacement dwarf, huh? Well, like that guy said, there's plenty of dwarves.
Yeah, he did say that.
Shouldn't be hard.
He did say that.
The quest for New Dobrum.
Matt, if you're watching the VOD, I'm sorry.
The quest for Dobrum 2.0. That's not nice. That's so not nice. But then again, since when have you all been...
Quandra. Jesus.
Should we go get Nex at least? Is he dead too?
Sabros.
I don't think she's dead. She just seemed really late. But she's sleeping in the cart still.
Where did we park that thing?
At the stables?
To the
Seems like a fair
stables.
place to park it.
Seems to be a common place for you.
Well, hang on. Did he touch a horse? Is that why he's gone? Is that why you're here by yourself?
No?
Yeah, what pilot does now.
I don't know if Dorian knows that.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting that we don't know that.
Also true. Also true.
Well, I don't know what to do.
Merrick heads for the stables.
All right, so easy enough. You guys make the 5 to 10 minute walk over to the stables. You find your horses in your carriage, or your wagon, Nexus, face down, ass up, asleep.
I swear that's not the way I left her.
Good times. But asleep.
But asleep.
So
I didn't say but was asleep. But, comma, asleep. B-U-T.
Mono next. How you feeling today?
Oh, still alive, so could be worse. I'll begrudgingly get up and get out of the cart.
funny you should say that. You know who's probably not alive? Our friend Dobrim.
I was just about to ask where the small fellow was.
I'm thinking maybe we should probably look for him.
Yeah, I suppose that's fine.
Probably having a beer.
He wasn't in the tavern. And his loot was broken on a bench outside the tavern.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Well, have we tried to find a new dwarf yet?
Nope.
I mean, you could just turn into a dwarf and then we're good, right?
That is true. I'd like to turn into Dobrim and swirl the broken parts of the loot around.
Magically, they do not fuse back together.
I would like to
Well, I
Go
did my
back.
best.
the loot and then make a survival check to see if I can track him from there.
Okay, so go ahead and make your survival check. 22, alright. So let me understand you. Do you want to go back to where you found the loot and make your check, or
Yes.
do you want to just look at the loot? No, you want to go
Back to where we found the loot.
Okay, so standing back in front of the bench where you found the pieces, Joria, you notice in the dirt that there are definite like scuffs and marks where there was a tussle of some kind. There appears to be 4 sets of tracks, one dwarven-ish in size, Merrick, the other 3 more human in size. And you do see about 10 feet away from there, in the direction of the other tavern, the bunker, drag marks in the dirt.
Look, gang, a clue.
Say drag marks.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess we're following that one. That's not suspicious at all.
Guess we're gonna blue skidoo. I'm gonna write it in my handy dandy notebook.
There you go.
But we don't have a thinking chair.
The rest of you need to start drinking. This sucks.
Well, we also don't get mail, so...
True.
Also, I've been drinking all day.
Here's
Eric
the
just
mail it constantly
rejected.
fills.
All right, so you guys follow the tracks back in a northerly direction, northwesterly, or no, northeasterly direction, excuse me, back through the middle of town. It's kind of off to the side. It's not right down the center of the street or anything like that. And you do notice that it goes past the inn and keeps going towards the end of town. Merrick, go ahead and make me one more survival check to see if you can pick it up as it leaves town.
I would like to luck that,
Okay,
because I don't want
a 1
that.
or that.
Better.
Is it a total of 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's nowhere near as clear as it was through town. And as you start to leave town, the road kind of goes up a little bit of a slope, not like a huge hill or anything, but you start to get breaks in the drag marks. Like there'll be 15 or 20 feet and there won't be anything, and then you'll see 2 feet kind of catch in the dirt, and you go another 15 or 20 feet or so before you catch the next set, before they just stop. And there's no more drag marks on the road.
I would like to make a perception check, see if I can find anything else around this area.
Okay, go ahead and make your perception check. Is anybody helping him?
I will help him.
Alright, you can make it with advantage.
Didn't help. It was 16 both ways.
Oh shit, you made it. Sorry, 16. Okay. Um, so you go for about another 5 minutes or so, and you're kind of like, damn, I think maybe I really kind of lost these. I lost the trail. And then you kind of once more turn to your left, kind of off the side of the road, and you see a stick that's kind of laying at a weird angle, and it's kind of broke on one end. And you're like, that just doesn't look right, because there's not that many trees out here, and there's really not a real big reason for this limb to be laying kind of crooked in the way it is where it's at. So you walk over to it and you pick it up, and you definitely notice that it's not like sawed or anything like that. It's just kind of cracked over to where pieces of the branch are still kind of connected in a little bit of a fashion. And there is the tiniest little bit of brown linen hanging off the end of it.
Oh, Ace, I think you went this way.
Alright, so as you guys start to make your way off the roadway, you're kind of off the left-hand side of the road now, so you would be headed kind of like, I gotta actually get my, hold on, shape. So you're kind of headed in like, that is definitely a box. Not supposed to be a box.
So could I like wild shape him through a dog?
Kind of going this way. You want to wild shape into a doge?
Doge and sniffer snaff that hanky.
You can if you have the stats for your doge.
I can in just a momento.
Okay, why don't you drag those up so we can do this correctly?
I don't know if I can pull those into here, but let me see if Roll20 has that shit.
1.21 gigaloots. Back to the looter.
Not a death dog.
Sorry, we're
Roll20 doesn't
entirely
have that.
we're disrespecting your game and chat.
You guys are totally fucked up, but I like it. Alright, so,
Okay, well, bears have an excellent sense of smell, so I am going to be a brown bear.
you turn into a bear. Merrick still has the pieces of loot, or Joria, both of you have it. You give it a good sniff, and go ahead and give me a survival check, sir, to see if you can find yourself a trail.
I assist him from there.
You may assist him.
Hey,
Everybody sniff.
I have
15.
lizard senses.
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's with advantage.
Yeah, that's with advantage.
Ooh, balls, that sucks. Okay.
My first one was a 5.
Yeah, well, that's better than 5.
Yes. 3 times, in fact.
You pick up a very low scent, kind of still moving in that direction, but it kind of wanders a little bit. You kind of feel like you're not staying right on the trail, but you're basically headed in the direction, it would seem, that they had went.
I will bear waddle in that general direction.
All right, as you guys continue for probably a good 20 or 30 minutes, the terrain in this area is so you're basically what the hell does that say? Never forget, never forgive. Rip Taquandas. Wow. Wow. Anyways, the topography in this area, guys, is basically plains with some rolling hills. There is a scattering of trees here and there, rocks here and there, little outcroppings amongst some like low hills and stuff like that. So there's not really a ton to hide behind or anything like that.
Wait, so I already had. Okay, so it says that I have keen smell. Bear has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on smell. So is it perception or is it survival?
How about the next time you do it, we'll let you use
Okay.
perception.
Yeah, I'm just reading through his stats right fast. Sorry.
Yep, that's fine. So you spend about the next, like I said, 20 minutes or so traversing said topography. You come kind of around a little bit of a hill, and go ahead and make me your bear perception check, please.
That would be a 16.
16. Okay. Good enough. You come around this kind of the side of this hill, and you're probably about 10 or 15 feet, 20 feet in front of everybody else. They're kind of just giving you your space as you bear waddle. You catch sight of a little tuft of smoke coming up, kind of like a grayish black kind of smoke in the distance. All right, so
I will turn to the party.
hold on a minute.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. If you're watching the VOD or you're watching live right now, I would just like to point out that my players are the most wonderful people on the planet, and they make the most inopportune jokes at the most inopportune times, making their DM extremely proud of them. Continue.
Is there a Pope showing up?
I'm not sure.
Perception check for Pope?
Yeah. Roll a
Oh, shit.
roll a
The cult leader approaches you.
Oh my God! Who knew Elroy was the new pope?
Oh, God.
If you're trying to
Exactly.
smell the Pope, you get advantage.
Exactly. All right, so you see the smoke coming up in the distance. You don't really see where it's located or coming from just yet. As you are kind of cresting this little knoll coming around a hill, you see the smoke ahead of you in an unknown distance.
I will turn to the party and say, guys, I see a smoke plume ahead.
You
It's on top of the hill at an unknown distance.
You say what?
The
You say what?
trail is picking up, but seeing as you guys don't speak bear, all you hear is...
You all are standing there, and all you see is Sabros turn around.
Nexus visibly terrified.
See these weird ass looks on your friends' faces as they're just kind of staring at you, dumbfounded.
I mean, I do speak
Easily.
Dwarvish. It's kind of like drunk dwarf growls.
I was gonna say, I take his lead as he speaks bear. I get advantage of my perception check and say, "Oh look, a Papa Smoke."
Extra, you know I don't speak Spanish.
Oh my God! All right,
Let's go forward.
all right.
Our friend could be dead and we're making Pope jokes. Just putting it out there.
So you continue around the corner, and you see. So the hill, you come around the top of the hill, and it's kind of like a shallow grade going down, and at the bottom of it you see a small lake, probably, I don't know, an acre or so in size. And on the opposite side of the lake you see a small cabin and that's the source of the smoke you see coming up. It's still fairly early morning. It's probably, oh, I don't know, 8:30 ish.
I would like to creep up to the cabin as a bear.
Okay, bear. Why don't you roll me some bear stealth as you're traipsing across a completely open space in daylight?
I would like to poke my ring ability on approach.
That would be a 19 for bear stealth.
Okay, that's crazy. Merrick, easy enough. You go invisible. Anybody else gonna move forward? Excuse me.
You know, all sneaky.
Yep. If you want to move sneakily, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Do I still smell Dobrum in the direction of the cabin?
You do.
When I get 30 feet away, can I charge the cabin?
That's a 10. Well,
Yeah, mine's 21, the modifier.
21. Okay. Next is at a flat 10.
Yeah, that's 10 or 9 plus 1. As soon as I get close, you hear banjo music playing.
Yeah, you, all of you except for Next move with the quietness, right? And then, Sabros, you just about reached that 30-foot mark when you hear somebody behind you, like, it sounds like they kicked something, a rock, or, something of that nature. And it kind of tumbles into another rock in front of it and kind of makes this, like, skittering, clanking kind of noise. You like, freeze in place.
Sorry.
And for whatever reason, nothing seems to happen.
Can I charge the door?
If you would like to charge the door, you may. What's your intent once you reach the door?
To smash the fuck through it?
Okay, go ahead and roll me a strength check.
Wait, I want to stealth back away.
That is a non-nat 20.
Okay. You bring out your bear claws and you grip the earth, and you just watch as Sabros just, like, takes off, and this lumbering brown bear is just, and all of a sudden you see him lower his head and his shoulder, and he impacts the door, and you hear this loud, sickening thud. Boom! And you watch the door just explode off of its hinges inwards, and that's where we're going to take a break. Twitch chat.
Yay! Dramatic pause!
Alright, guys, hang out with us. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and we will see what happens as Sabros, in bear form, has plunged his face and shoulder first into a cabin that they know nothing about. Stand by. We will be back shortly. And turn all the mics back on. Guys, give me a mic check, please.
Whoa.
So,
Oh, hey, perfect. Sounds good. All right.
hello.
Hello. Hello. So, we went to break a little bit ago, and we had found a cabin at the base of a lake. And we currently have Sabaros in Sabaros-like fashion, charging right on in there, turning into bear form to track, and then parade himself right on off in here, slamming the door and busting it wide open. And that's where we'll pick up, as the door splinters into 1,000 pieces.
Want to be right behind him. Invisible.
So let me do this.
I'm gonna count that door. If it's not 1,000 pieces, I'm gonna be sorely disappointed.
It's
A
in,
bear is there just like dragging. He's
it's in a couple places, that's for sure. Alright, so there's that. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, so you bust through the front of the door. Hang on, go back to here. Here. Merrick, you're right behind him. Other two, where do you want to be?
Here.
Okay. Gwyneth, or next, can you move your... Okay, cool. Alright, so, you bust through the door. Go ahead and just because you slammed yourself into a door... This is not a huge cabin, so normally I would just give you what's inside, but because you're probably maybe a little dazed as you wreck through the door from striking it, why don't you roll me a quick perception check, please?
18.
18, alright. So you maintain your focus as you come through the door.
With my bear-like rage.
With your bear-like reflexes. Roll for bear. No, kidding. Alright, so you bust through the door. You spin and you look forward and you see 4 individuals right off the bat. You see 3 males and 1 female. 3 humans, 1...
Nat 20 on bear.
It's hilarious. You see 3 human males and 1 elf female. But the female is kind of got her back turned to you a little bit, and as you slam into the door, she spins around, and as she's spinning, she reaches over her head and she pulls out 2 scimitars out from behind her arm, from behind her back like this, and kind of crosses them down in front of her, kind of like, how would I describe it? Pulls them out, kind of shinks them together, and then they're kind of down in a cross in front of her, like this.
That's not Dobrum.
What do you do? Because you have surprise, what do you do when you go inside?
Bear thing.
Clearly.
Oh. So, what do these guys look like besides her?
They look exactly like the Bleeding Forge guys who were in the tavern down the way.
If he doesn't act, I'll immediately shoot one.
She what? I'm sorry.
Said if he doesn't act, I'll immediately shoot one.
I'm giving him the opportunity to do what he wishes. So,
Know that I will attack at my nearest convenience.
understood.
I'm going to roll up to here.
Okay.
Just like continuing that momentum through the door, and like as soon as the door explodes, I see this guy straight ahead of me.
So you continue straight in.
I just continue straight in, right up into his face.
Okay. Merrick, put yourself just
Okay.
inside the door. Okay. Sabros, when you bust through the door, as you're running towards the guy in the corner, you watch as the female spins around and pulls out her scimitar. She crosses him down in front of her like that. And Merrick, as you step into the door, the female looks at you.
I'm invisible.
Very, very good point. Very good point. Continue. I will give Merrick.
I will shoot
I will give
her.
you an action. You're going to shoot her.
I will shoot her.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
The 19 hit.
19 does not hit.
All right, then I would like to luck that.
Okay.
I'd like to shoot her again.
Okay.
That was even worse. Guess I'm just invisible. Fuck me. Or not visible. I'm visible now.
You are no
but-
longer invisible, as the ring is the basic version of the invisibility spell. And
That's fine.
there is a lizard man standing in the doorway with his bow drawn, and
You're
watch
welcome.
you watch as the arrow sails past her head, goes between the two guys, and sticks in the wall, kind of behind. Let's go ahead and roll initiative,
Oh
if
yeah.
you would, please. We're not going to use the Q thing, so please just remember your numbers. Wow, fucking shit rolls. Jesus.
Good. Excellent.
I should have just bit this dude in the face.
Merrick will have revenge.
Alright, 25 to 20.
23. Joria.
Joria, 23. Okay. 20 to 15.
Merrick 7.
Merrick, 17. 10 to 15.
Next 11.
10 to 5.
That's the
Sabros.
man who's eating. Yeah.
Sabros, what do you got?
Got an 8.
An 8. Okay. Sabros. Those guys. And... Okay. Alright, top of the round, we have Joria. What are you doing, darling? You're standing in the doorway watching Merrick Cathend miss gloriously with his arrow.
So I run in.
Okay.
Right here.
Alright.
Swing at the peon above me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for an attack, please, with your Great Warhammer. Oh, 17. That'll hit. Roll for damage. Is it? Okay.
Wait,
It's
that's
not.
right.
Yeah, it's not coming up with any of the
Alright,
damage.
So if you click
Um,
on the long hammer in that stat block, it'll roll the damage.
I already did click it.
Oh, it does say no ability was found, so you have not set up the damage for it properly.
It says 1d10 plus.
But did you make an
Just roll.
attack roll for it?
I clicked the damage the second time and it still did a d20. Okay, 1d10 plus 5.
Mhm.
9.
So 9. Okay. 9 damage. We go 1.
I'll do.
Dragons, if you can give me control of his character sheet, I can fix some of that.
Okay. Yeah, give me just a minute. All right, Jory, as you rush forward, you draw out your hammer, you swing it around, and you catch him kind of in the side, and you hear this as you crack him in the side. Do you get more than one attack at this point?
Yeah, I get bonus attack, an arm strike.
Okay, go ahead.
But
Are you gonna hold it?
no, I'm gonna. After I swing my hammer, I'm gonna let the head of the hammer drop to my feet and stay behind the pole and do patient defense.
Okay, duly noted. Patient defense. Okay, so that brings us to. Are you gonna move or stay where you're at?
Stay where I'm at.
Okay, that brings us to Merrick.
Alright, I'm gonna try to shoot her again.
All right, go ahead.
Because I don't like her already.
Okay.
Damn it.
Does not hit, friend.
Okay. I'm gonna take more of a step over here.
Okay.
And I will gnash my teeth.
Perfect.
Look menacing.
As you draw another arrow and fire, it goes past the other ear, past the other guy's head, and sticks in the wall. She's just looking at you with this like shit-eating grin on her face as you gnash your teeth angrily.
Not me girly.
Yes. Next, you're up.
These squares are 5 feet, right?
That is correct, sir.
I'll do some moving here. 1, 2, 3. Probably about here. Did Sombrous attack that one guy, or did you just
Not
run
yet.
in?
No, I just ran in.
Okay. So I'm gonna hit this guy with a first level guiding bolt.
First level guiding bolt. Alright.
Do I roll for that? The hit DC is +5. It's not a saving throw.
Yeah, I
I'm
believe
still-
it's a spell. I think guiding bolt's a spell attack. I'd have
Yeah, I
to
think you get spell attack.
range spell attack. Okay.
It's your proficiency plus your modifier.
I don't know what that means. I'm
So
sorry.
take a d20 and roll it,
Yep, did that.
and then add your proficiency bonus.
Which is the
probably-
thing by the spell.
Your level
And
4
then
should
your-
be a 2.
Okay.
And your casting modifier, which you're a cleric.
Yeah.
Is that charisma or wisdom?
Wisdom.
Ooh, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's wisdom.
Then
So
add your
that's 22.
22, that hits.
Okay. And that is 4d6.
And because you hit, the next person has advantage, is that correct? Is that guiding bolts?
I believe that's correct for
deal?
guiding
I'm
pretty
pretty sure that's
Is that true?
The
pretty sure
next attack against them has advantage.
has advantage because it marks them.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so 10, 16 damage.
16 damage. Alright. Okay. As you
That'll
come
be
in and you release the divine energy, as you see it just kind of emanate out from you, streaks off, striking the guy in the chest and just exploding in a spark of like golden color as it just sprays off of him into like rays of divinity. He just kind of reels backwards and kind of catches himself on his back foot, and you see him kind of laboring a little bit with his breathing. He's still standing. He looks okay, but he's taking some damage. Would you like to do anything else with your turn? You've got a bonus action, and you can move.
Nope.
Okay.
Everything is a touch.
Very good. Alright, so, let's see, there we go. This guy right here is going to turn to Joria and an attempt to hit you with his dagger. Does a 13 hit you, Joria?
You roll at disadvantage because I did patient defense.
That is correct.
But no, 13 doesn't hit. So I
Okay,
guess
that was the
it
lowest
doesn't
roll.
matter with the-
Yeah, that's okay. That was the lowest roll. Alright, as he swings out to kind of try to catch you in the side, you kind of suck your gut in and he kind of just goes right past. And that is his that
Called you
is
fat.
that is
You got
his
a gut.
that is his turn. This one is going to move around the female and try to get in front of her. And he's going to attack you. Yeah, that doesn't hit. Again, he comes with the other dagger in the other direction, and you kind of out of the way as he kind of strikes his arm against the side of your warhammer, and the handle kind of goes before it rights itself straight up and down. And that is their turn. Actually, this guy up here sees this bear come just burling at him, and right as you're about to launch this gigantic paw of yours into his face, he basically steps back into the wall and tries to shoot an arrow in your face, and I'll give him disadvantage because you're technically within melee with him. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just rolled over my cord, so. Alright, so. Alright. Alright, yeah, it doesn't hit again. That was a whole 10. What's your AC in bear form?
13.
Well, it was a 10, so, you know. Just scared out of his mind, he knocks the arrow and lets it fly, and it goes right past your big, kind of between where your arm is in the air, or your paw, and his neck, and your neck. And hits the splintered piece of the front door, kind of like the top of the frame, and just sticks in the top. And that is their turn. That brings us to Sabras. It is your turn.
Yeah, continue momentum, and as the arrow flies back, I will continue my slash with my claw.
Alright, go ahead and roll for attack.
14.
14 you said?
Yeah.
14 hits. Damage.
That would be 10 slashing damage.
10 slashing. Okay. Alright, as you kind of lumber forward and bring your paw down, you kind of catch him across the front, and your claws don't, like, sink in real far, but you get a fairly good gash across the front of him as he kind of pulls back with his bow like this. You can see bits of blood and leather kind of all mixed together as it trickles down the front of his armor.
And for my follow-up attack, I will attempt to bite him.
Okay.
That would be a 14.
14 hits, roll for damage.
And that one will be 6 damage.
Okay.
Piercing.
As you kind of catch him in the arm, as you follow through, you kind of go, you kind of catch him like in the top of the shoulder and arm right here, and you rip out another piece of leather, and you see a little bit of blood kind of trickle off his shoulder as you pull it away. Do you want to move?
No.
Okay.
I'm staying till he's dead.
Okay, cool. You watch as the chick in the middle of the room, right here, she is going to disengage from Joria back this way, and she's going to take the swords, and instead of keeping him down in front of her, she's going to kind of turn him up and out with her hands in kind of a facing out position, and she's just going to start yelling, "Stop! Stop! Stop! For the fucking love of God, stop! Everybody stop!"
I'll turn my head towards her, jaws still firmly in this guy's shoulder, turning him.
Right. "We didn't kidnap or murder your friend. He's here. He's sleeping in the back. Everybody fucking stop!" And now that you're getting a better look from after this first couple of seconds of combat here, as everybody go in, you all recognize this elf chick to be the excruciatingly beautiful elf that you saw leaving the chamber of Elroy. You remember the elven chick who stepped out from behind the pile of gold and led the 3 white-robed figures out of the chamber?
I only have eyes for Taquandra.
So, what the next up is Joria. What do you do? That ends her turn.
I'll just relax and still holding onto my hammer and say, "Oh, didn't you say so?" Where is he?
Well, I would have said so, but you busted in here and started shooting up the place.
Well, you dragged him
There you
through. Well, of course, translate to her.
Think about how that looks for us. Friend's missing, his stuff's broken, and he's dragged back to this hut in the middle of nowhere. So of course we busted in.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. But he's through the doors, right there. He's sleeping. I assure you that he's fine. I assure you that he's fine.
How did he end up here?
I
Why
don't
did you take
understand why you leave drunken friends laying on a bench in the middle of the night, but, that's not for me to judge.
He wasn't drunk last time we saw him. I don't know what he did. Why is he here, though?
I can assure you that he was drunk and he was trying to pick a fight with some rather not so nice people in the middle of the town square.
That's our Dobrim.
It's definitely a dwarf. But, why is he here, though?
Well,
Why this place? Why are you here?
if he wasn't here, then he would likely either be lying dead on the side of the road or in shackles somewhere having God knows what done to him. So, I thought I would bring him back to my place and give him rest and return him to you.
Well, we sure appreciate it. Sorry for the violence.
Sorry for horrendously mangling your friend.
That's quite all right. And you see her walk forward. And she places her hand on him, and you hear her kind of mutter some words that you don't really understand. And you watch as his wounds close on his body.
I'd
Immediately
like
go
to,
for the
to just
door.
do the same for bare mangled friend over here.
Okay. Easy enough. You cast Cure Wounds or whatever your first level spell is. And
I
The blood-
reluctantly release him from my job.
the blood dries up, and he's slightly less worried, but still has a bear in his face. So, Merrick, you want to go through the door?
Yeah, I'm going straight for Dobrim.
Okay.
Assumably.
So you bust through the door and find Dobrim asleep on a bed in the corner there.
I hoist him over my shoulder.
As you get him halfway over your shoulder, you hear the familiar dwarven. How are you, boy? What are you doing? Where am I? What's going on here? Why do I feel like a bag of smashed assholes?
Well, you're a sack of potatoes right now, and we're getting out of here.
All right, and he kind of pats you on the shoulder and just kind of slinks his head back down. And he reeks of booze still. And like that normally doesn't ever bother you or offend you, but like he literally smells like he slept in the bottom of a whiskey barrel. It's that strong.
I just say something under my breath that's extremely irresponsible, and I can't imagine him doing that, but then I'll drag him off.
Fair enough.
Even though I'm the drunkard of the group.
Should come with us to the mystery hole.
Obviously.
There was a party in a hole. You don't want to miss the party in the hole. Just saying. Twitch,
No one
you
was
don't want to
invited,
miss
but
the
we
party
can
in the
all
hole. It can be exciting. Alright, so you take the two of you back out this way. Alright, so, as you're standing there, I would like, Joria, since you're the closest, can you roll a perception check for me, please?
I would also like to grab my 2 arrows out of the wall.
Easy enough, go ahead. Wow. Yeah, you don't notice anything.
Cool.
So, again, she apologizes for... Oh, excuse me. She apologizes for causing a ruckus and, leading you guys to believe that, your friend had been kidnapped and, all of these bad things happened or whatever, but, she reassures you that nothing crazy happened. She just didn't want him to get further accosted in the middle of the street. And with how you guys left the tavern, she didn't think it was a very good idea to take him back there for the night.
She makes a good case, but they're wearing this syndicate thingamajig.
Correct.
I hate them. I hate them very much. It takes everything that I have not to attack them.
I'd like to make a quick addendum so it doesn't come up as a problem in the future. If I'm ever in changeling form, I always intentionally like have a huge hood up, if that, as best I can, because I feel like that might come into play later.
I'm sorry, can you play that back for me one more time? If you're in changeling form.
Yeah, I have the hood of my robes up always, like
Okay.
large hood.
All right, duly noted. Yeah, no, that is perfectly fine. No big deal.
All right.
Okay. Duly noted. Duly noted. Sabros, can you make a perception check for me, please?
Is it spell based?
It is not smell based. I'm sorry.
Then it is 11.
Damn. Okay. All right. Being kind of in tune with nature, for some reason, you feel like it's colder inside this house than it should be. But you're not sure why. That's it. No wonder your nips are hard. Well,
I'll revert out of bear form.
no. Not
With
there.
hard nips.
Not, yeah.
I'll revert out of bear form and join this huddle that seems to be going on.
Okay. You notice that it's actually colder the closer you get to the group. Not by a lot, but enough that you notice it.
Why is it so cold in here?
The minute you say, why is it colder in here? You notice the female elf kind of shift her weight a little bit.
Then I'll turn to
Insight.
her and ask again. Why is it so cold in here?
Roll another perception check, please.
15.
Do you see this very strange, like almost vapor, like light blue vapor, just ever so slightly, kind of toil off the corner of her eye, like just every few seconds. And she just kind of shrugs her shoulders and says, I don't know. We forgot to light a fire last night.
Uh-huh. So, what's up with your eyes there, lady?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You do realize that you're a really bad liar, correct?
You do realize that you're extremely forward with somebody you know nothing about.
And that's why I'm asking. Why is it so cold in here?
Are you sure you really want to know the answer to that?
I want to know a lot of things.
Fair enough.
To answer the question.
Fair enough. Follow me. And she goes this way.
And I shoop on over there.
And
I
she
go
tells
this way.
she tells her lackeys to stay behind.
I'm taking Govram out with next.
Okay. Perfect.
I'm gonna kind of post myself by the door.
Yeah, I was definitely half joking, but I'm gonna move up this way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna follow them in. I'm just gonna observe.
Well,
Alright.
I'm going to take the room out, and I will sit by this door.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you guys enter this room here, and she continues to the middle of the room, say right about here. Sabros, you make your way into just kind of like, there's like, sort of kind of like a little foyer in between the two. This room is probably about 30 or 40 feet deep, and probably the same 30 or 40 feet wide, right? And she's standing in the middle of the room, and all of a sudden, you see her, like, her whole body just kind of like shimmers a little bit. And she immediately shifts at the snap of a finger into a fucking adult silver dragon in front of you. The fucking wings come out, and she just kind of puts her head down on her front legs like this, and just kind of gives you like her nostrils kind of do this like open kind of sniff, kind of like, and you just watch as like this frosty electrical kind of shit just kind of toils out from it like this towards you. And you hear kind of like a low, a very low, deep tone. Are you sure you wanted to know now?
Did you have any idea how fucking awesome that?
Well, I try not to let it get around too much.
I mean, understandable. People like your organs for like magic and shit.
She kind of scoffs at you a little bit. Well, they're gonna have to try pretty hard to get mine. I assure you.
Do I hear all this transformation business?
You hear just this loud rustling sound, like, and you get this like gust of cool wind that like rushes through the door.
I'm gonna kind of enter the doorway.
You enter the doorway to see a very large fucking silver dragon sitting in the middle of the room.
And Sabro is in pure awe.
And Sabros is just drooling on himself, essentially.
I'm gonna come running up and go, "Whoa! What the hell?"
Keep your voice down, lass.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
What's going on? You're a dragon?
If your friend here wasn't so in tune, he would not have known my true form. But
Why
yes,
is a dragon working for the crime syndicate? That's not anything like what I've heard about dragons.
who's to
You do
say?
realize that she's not, right?
Who's to say that I work for anyone?
Ooh. A wink. Oh, okay. I
She
get it.
she gives another little snort, and like little icicles just kind of out. So, now that you know, I believe we need to talk about our arrangement from here on out. I would highly prefer for no one to know. And you would highly prefer to stay alive.
Yep.
So, here's what I propose. You take your friend and go on about your way. And one day, I will call upon you. And when I do, you will know what your task is. But until that day, I want you to promise me something. That you
I
will.
will never love another woman.
She kind of chuckles. I like you. But she goes on to say, trust no one within the syndicate. As bright and cheery as some of these fellows may seem, they will pin you down and cut your throat at the drop of a hat, just to watch you bleed.
Yeah, we kind of already kind of went through that. Boss guy stabbed our friend.
Elroy is a bit of a dick, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bit.
Quite pompous.
So are you trying to destroy the crime syndicate? What are you doing in there?
She kind of snorts a little bit, and more ice and stuff comes out. She goes, the true nature of my business here is still a mystery to you, and a mystery it will stay. For I have not known you long enough to trust you with such information.
But you trusted us with who you really are.
It was either this, or your continued questions in front of the folks out there who I trust not at all.
Oh, those guys are
Fair.
Which is why we are in here. Do you follow?
I do.
Very well.
In case it wasn't obvious, we're not actually part of this syndicate. We showed up for maybe the same reasons that you're in here.
And you, all of a
So
sudden,
do
you
you-
see this, like, big plume of, like, icy frost come out of her nose. And kind of, like, it makes, like, a small little wall in front of you. And then as it kind of brushes past you, the elf lady is standing in front of you again.
Okay.
She says, yes, I'm aware that you are not part of the syndicate, and if I thought you were part of the syndicate, do you think your friend would have been sleeping in my chambers?
That's why I said that maybe.
Wish I was sleeping in your chamber.
She just shakes her head. So,
I know you said that you'll call on us when you need us, but is there anything that we can help you with now? With the syndicate?
take your friend, go back to Aureus, and find work. And when I need you, I will call upon you. Do not ever speak of your knowledge that you have learned here today.
No, of course not. How will you contact us? Secret dragon magic?
She smiles at you and she goes, you will know when it is time. Fear not.
Okay.
And I am looking for a note that I made, and I don't know where I made it. I am such an awesome DM. Ah, there it is. And then she looks at you, Joria, and she looks at you, Sabros, and she says, and whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with today so that I might know your name when I come calling?
Oh, I'm Joria.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Joria, and she extends her hand in kind of a very noble kind of like bow.
Like for a handshake extends, or just
Essentially, yes.
like a one of these?
No,
Oh.
she's not gloating. She's just actually reaching out for your hand for just like a little shake.
Shake her hand and
'Kay.
bow.
And you, funny one, what is your name?
I would be Sabros, my lady.
Pleasure. My name is Nala di Viol.
Oh boy, I'm gonna write that one down.
How you spell that?
Nalla space DDI Viol. Viol.
Like, just 2 words?
3. Nala D. Viol.
2 D's?
No. Nalla
Okay.
space D. D-I.
Okay.
And then space Viol. V-I-O-L. You guys are fucking messed up.
Said her name is Nala.
Again with the jokes, Twitch. Again with the jokes. These guys are on top of it. Alright. So, she says, alright. We've spent enough time back here. They're going to wonder what's going on, so we need to go back up front. And she kind of pushes past the two of you and out the door. She goes back over to the middle of her folks. Bids you all a fair and fine day and escorts you to the door.
Oops. Didn't do that. Okay.
Perfect. Alright. Alright, so you guys finish with your interaction with Nala and her merry band of bandits at her little homestead kind of area. And let me recenter myself here. There we go. What would you like to do after leaving? Totally up to you guys. Oh, by the way, the only two people that know this are Joria and Sabros, and it's completely up to you what you share.
Let's walk a short distance.
That's a great idea.
Let's go back to Sangorn and get the cart. We should probably go to Orius. No reason. Well, let's go. Let's walk. Guys, come on.
Seem a bit anxious to leave.
Yeah, come on. Just let's go. Come on.
Places to do, people to see.
Shouldn't we kill him? I mean,
No, just
they're
come on. We gotta talk. Come
they're the bad guy.
No,
on. We have
she's my girlfriend now.
We're getting married. We're in love.
So we kill her, and
No, why? Come on.
then you eat her.
No. We
That's how that works, right?
It's a different kind of eating.
Oh,
And that's why I linked Bad Dragon.
that's an oral sex joke. I get it.
But I'm chubbier
Alright, so
all day.
Once we've moved a good distance away from the cabin, I guess we can relay.
Okay, so you make it an assumed safe distance away and recant the entire story to your fellow friends, and they can react as they wish.
Huh.
Why would we listen to a dragon lady who works for the syndicate?
Because 1, she doesn't work for the syndicate, and 2, she's a fucking dragon.
So why couldn't we kill the syndicate lackeys and she just go about her way?
I think she's using them for whatever her goal is.
I
Yeah,
think
she's
they'd be
a-
more useful dead.
She's not on their team, and she's on the inside. And don't you want to eventually avenge your own honor? You know how that guy stabbed you? Remember? Remember the hands? Remember?
Yes, but that
Well,
means that none of them should
she's
live.
his enemy, and she's a dang dragon.
But the
Think
other
it's a good
three,
idea to help her.
You seem quick to trust this dragon.
No, she was a
Exactly.
scrap dragon.
She was pretty.
I don't know, man.
Hmm.
I'd
I
rather.
fear you're not thinking with the right head.
And Mirk, aren't you like loosely related to her or something anyway? Are you guys like cousins?
I am a lizard and I am beautiful.
And she is lizard-like and even more beautiful.
Yes, I'm not debating her case. I think we need to kill the others because they are worse than garbage. There is no point in them continuing to live.
Well, I'm gonna disagree. I think she's using those guys as pawns. That's her facade.
And if we kill them, she'll get more pawns, and there'll be less people to worry about.
If we kill them, she'll probably get really pissed off and then kill us. We didn't fare well against a guy with 2 daggers. I don't think we're gonna really stand a chance against the Silver Dragon. Can I guess, roll to recall any kind of
Information on
what
Silver
I know about
Dragons.
Silver Dragons, yeah, just their
Sure.
general name.
Yeah, go ahead and make
I will
a.
assist with my druid knowledge.
Since you're more of a bookie, go ahead and make a history check.
Me?
Can I assist him?
You can
my
assist him.
druid
Yeah,
Intelligence.
make it with advantage. Intelligence with advantage.
Don't pull out your dick.
16. -1.
16, you said? Okay.
Yeah.
You basically know the differences that there are 2 main types of dragons within the world. There are chromatic dragons and there are metallic dragons. Chromatic dragons typically are more chaotic in nature. They're very, very, very self-centered. They're very selfish. They're very territorial. They're very high on gold and platinum and diamonds and things of that. They like to rule and lord over people and be worshipped and things of that nature. Metallic dragons share a nature of they like wealth and privilege and things of that nature, but they are extremely more to the opposite end of lawful and more prominent with rules and laws and doing what's right for the common good of the entire space or the entire realm or whatever you want to say. So you kind of know it in like a broad terms that chromatics are bad, metallics are generally good.
Okay.
That's basically kind of what you know.
Well, then I'm gonna argue to Mirek that like, Silver Dragons they're good. They're good things. They're not evil. They don't. The fact that this lady's down there with these people, she's probably trying to destroy them. So I mean, I would think that our best bet would be to just go about our business and wait until we can help her do that. And one day, hey, who knows? Maybe you'll get your revenge. Maybe you can stab daggers through that guy.
I'm not arguing her case. She's fine, I guess. Whatever. I don't really care. She's whatever she wants to be. But those other syndicate folk, I see no reason we couldn't just dispose of them.
I think we'd blow her cover if we did that.
Would we though?
Using them, they're pawns, they're tools to her.
There'd be no witnesses except for her. She wouldn't turn us in, turn her in.
But she would get mad.
Would she though?
Well, dig another hole. I'll hide in that, and you can go kill the pawns.
I'd do it.
I'm sure you would. I understand that you don't like the Syndicate and you want to kill them, but not killing them now could be...
Well, what other course of action do you have?
Do what she basically said to do, just to go about our business. Whatever she's working on. she'll
And what
call us.
exactly
She'll
is
call
our
us back.
business?
Something else? She suggested we go to Aureus. I don't know if there's anything particular there, but
and
That's
work for
great.
the Syndicate until she summons us.
She had told us to go to Aureus and find work.
Yeah, we don't have to work for the Syndicate. Just find something else to do. Like, what about you? How did you come to be here? Didn't you say that there was someone you had to look for?
There's a temple in Aureus that might be worth a visit, I suppose.
Well, hey, perfect. We can go do that. I mean, we have no particular reason to trust this dragon, but I mean, what else can we do? It's a dragon.
It's a rock in a hard place. I really don't like either.
You hear Dobrum kind of pipe up a little bit, and he's like, "Oi, oi, oi, oi. Does anybody have anything for this bleeding headache I've got? Oi, oh, I don't feel so good. Oh, what a bender. Oh, my.
Can I check and see if I do in fact have that? With
Sure.
Herbalism, I guess.
Sure. Absolutely. Is there a specific herbalism check, or is it more of like a nature or survival check?
I think it's just a proficiency check, I believe.
Sure, roll a d20 and add your proficiency.
10.
You rummage around in your pack, and you piecemeal some stuff together that you think will work. And you give it to him, and we'll kind of see how it works.
You know, wad this up, chew it a bit, and hold it under your tongue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this tastes like crap.
Probably is.
Thank you. And he just kind of slunks back down. Are you still holding him over your shoulder? Or did
Yep.
you put him down? He just kind of plops back down again and goes back to sleep with this wad of shit, kind of like in dip form. Just kind of slowly drools out and onto his beard.
Is he beat up? I can see if like bruising and stuff like that.
He's not worse for wear. He was just drunk as fuck, and I guess maybe he fell off the bench and broke his loot, and these guys found him, and she brought him back to here. So, excuse me. You do, however, if you are continuing back towards town, you get about, I don't know, 10 minutes into your walk, and you hear behind you like just this sickening low guttural roar.
From the way we just came?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Maybe we should run back? What the hell was that?
Coming! I'm running back.
You turn around
I
and
wish-
you kind of crest back to the top of a little hill, kind of like another little outcropping as you're going back towards it. And all you see is the cabin in this like frosty fucking fire looking shit. And you see like in the distance a figure of a dragon flying away.
Really wish you guys would make up your mind.
She doesn't need those guys after all.
Mirik, that could have been you in there.
Nah, America then wouldn't die to that.
The entire cabin is literally falling in on itself in this like frosty fire looking death.
I point my nose up.
Fair enough.
Couldn't happen.
There are no more living syndicate in there, though, however, sir.
Merrick feels satisfied on the inside. All warm and fuzzy.
See, everything's working out. We should go to Aureus.
I have no
We can
complaints
attack-
and no other plan, so I'm all yours.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, as the party sets out back to grab the cart from Sangorn, grab some goods, grab some stuff, and you hop on the road and make your way back to Aureus. You spend the rest of the day traveling, making your way into town about 9 p.m. You come up to the outer gates of Aureus, back through to the stables that you had once left your stuff, and that's where we're going to leave tonight, fellas. The party is now back in Aureus with all of your stuff, having met a fucking dragon.
Thanks, my girlfriend.
Yeah, thanks for that. And there are a few syndicate less, and you're no longer within striking distance of Elroy, at least for the next day or two. We've updated our hotkeys. Yeah, I don't give a flying fuck about the hotkeys. I don't even know what the hell that's all about. I don't want to check out your wiki. Come on. Reload. 12 seconds? Are you kidding me? Holy
But I want a wiki Herpedia.
Well, Twitch, thank you guys so much for stopping by. We really do appreciate it, even if you're just watching the VOD. If you watched us live, thank you so much. We will see you next time on The Breath of Silence. And until next time, be kind to everyone, and have a great evening.